Number 3, Andrew Tate understands status over sex.
Am I going to make my man look better by doing X or look worse? She doesn't want to go out without me. That's status. It's not about the night out. It's about the status of being the man in the house. That's what a man wants. He wants respect. He wants to be the man of the house.
I really don't get this though, because I thought all men just wanted sex. So Jay, can you please explain what status over sex means and why status matters more?
Fantastic question. This is often a confusing one, but I think I have a little metaphor that will clear it up for you.
Okay.
So in one of the earlier questions, we were talking about a desert. So imagine we take some established high status man in his younger years, let's say Bruce Lee, and we put Bruce Lee in this desert. Mm-hmm. Bruce is dying of thirst. He is dehydrated. He's desperate for water. He's looking everywhere for an oasis, a cactus to siphon water out of, maybe even a way to drink his own piss. Okay? This is bad news.
Okay.
Anyone observing this man from afar without context might easily conclude all this dude cares about is water.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Look at him. Look at how he behaves.
I mean, he's going to drink his own pee. So
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
What an animal. Like, it's easy to snap judgment and conclude that all this man cares about is water. Mm-hmm. But we have context and we know and we understand someone in a desert doesn't really just care about water, but stick with me for this simple metaphor. So then we put Bruce back at home. He's doing fine. He's got his water. He's fed and so on. And now we look at his behavior and he doesn't seem to care about water at all. Literally could give an F. What he cares about is his career. He cares about writing his book. He cares about training his students. He cares about becoming the best martial artist ever and mastering his body. He cares about being a giant Hollywood movie star and reaching more people. Like, he cares about status. He cares about his ambition and his mission and his vision and what he's been put on earth to do. Mm-hmm. He couldn't dream of not fulfilling this.
Okay. Yeah.
You don't think Bruce Lee was ambitious and focused on his mission and
yes.
he was about his passion of body mastery and martial arts?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to see the agreement, right?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Right. When he was in the desert, it looked like all he cared about was water. Mm-hmm. When the basic water need was taken care of, now it looks like all he cares about is growing his empire, like crushing it.
True. Yes.
Yeah. Well, the same thing happens when most guys are in a sex desert, right?
Okay.
They ain't getting laid. You know what the stats are? Most guys haven't had sex in years. And even then, it's like few and far between.
Okay.
What do you mean, okay? You're the one watching Pearl and Andrew Tate and studying all this stuff.
Yes.
You tell me.
Yes.
Don't give me these deer eyes. I'm saying basic shit.
Yeah, it's true. Men are in a sexual desert. They're not getting laid, and because girls want that 1% of men. Yeah. Okay.
So what do you think would happen if suddenly all the guys who seem so desperate for sex were getting laid fairly regularly and that need was taken away? What are they now free to do? What are they going to pursue with their energy and their time when they're not like starving for a basic human connection or basic physical intimacy?
Now they have time to focus on their business or their empire or their power.
Right. And what they want to do, they want to invent things. They want to build things. They want to solve problems. They want to create businesses. They want to do guy things. They want to be masculine. They want to go and thrive and blossom and achieve the status that they know they can achieve.
Yeah.
So what's the real drive for these guys? Is it sex?
No.
Yeah. Is that what's in their heart? Sex. That's all I care about.
I mean, men love sex and they're super horny, but I think if they had this taken care of, then maybe they can focus more on their status and the power, because men love power and status and money, and that's all they care about.
There you go. And you think they're going to stop growing their empires and building their businesses and inventing things if they suddenly have a harem of women?
No.
Hugh Hefner had a harem of women. Did it stop him from growing his empire?
No, it helped him grow it more.
There you go. Andrew Tate probably has a bunch of women. You think he's going to stop anytime soon?
No, I think that's also how he made his money.
Regardless, like, you think he's going to stop going on Piers Morgan and stop doing interviews and stop growing his empire?
Oh, no.
I'm saying.
In fact, it probably makes him do it more, because then I don't know if he does, but have lots of women, and then they have lots of kids. And so then he has more desire to grow his empire.
Yeah. You wonder what's up with guys today. It's like, how are they going to do anything if they're starving for sex in a sex desert? Their energy is not freed up for that. Like, it's a basic human need that's not getting taken care of. Mm-hmm. It's a biological thing from nature. Like, it's like being starving or thirsty. And like, why aren't you building an empire starving and thirsty, dude? It's like, dude is starving and thirsty. What do you want him to do? He can't find his next meal. Same for guys in a sex desert. If they're not getting laid, don't expect them to be out there growing some giant business.
But I thought if the order of things is correct, that if they focused on their business, then the sex would come later.
Absolutely, but that's on them. I'm just saying, like, there are two ways to approach this, right?
Okay, right.
Like, I'm not saying all women should just go and start giving sex to below average guys and free them up to grow their empires. I'm just saying there's a relationship there. Like, it does exist. Mm-hmm. It might be up to them to put their appetites aside and still build a business and still become great. And then they get rewarded with sex, like, because they're more attractive to the feminine leaning folks. But my point really is just to answer your question and to show the connection between these things and show how status and sex are connected or related. But what most people think is the priority isn't the actual priority.
Right. So status is the priority, but they put sex in front of it sometimes.
Yeah, like, you could show me any guy who's building a great thing. He's on a huge mission and he's accomplishing his shit. But if he fasts for 3 or 4 or 5 days, soon food will take priority over building the empire. And he'll be like, I don't care if everyone quits on me. I'm going to eat. Like,
yeah, okay.
But when that happens, or do we suddenly say, oh, all he cares about is food?
No.
Yeah, no. It's just sometimes that need comes first. And in a landscape where all the sex is going to like the 1% and every other guy gets nothing, they're all starving for food and they get antsy about it, right?
Yeah.
And so then it looks like that's all they care about. But if by magic, all of the average guys suddenly had a harem and they were getting laid nonstop, they'd get bored of sex. They'd be like, whatever, I'm here for something greater. I'm here for something more. I'm going to go build my empire.
Yeah.
Now, that's not going to happen or whatever. They have to learn personal responsibility and discipline and focus on their mission anyways to even attract sex for the most part. But the point still stands. You can see the relationship between the two and you can see which one is actually more important.
Well, it makes more sense because typically, historically, men care more about money and power. This is what women complain about so much is that men, well, not all men, but...
You're at your job working all the time. You don't have time for me. Don't you love me? Don't you want to fuck with me? Like,
yeah,
actually, no. I want to do my business. I want to build my work. I want to grow my empire.
Yeah.
I don't got time for you, woman. For the 1% of men, this is a common thing. For the ones getting tons of sex, they're not worried about it.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Well, thank you for explaining, and it makes a lot more sense to me.
Right. So is it crazy for Andrew Tate to say men prioritize status for the most part over sex, except for in dire circumstances when they've been neglected for a long time?
No, it makes sense. And I think also the level that he's at for himself, that
it's even more clear
that for him status definitely means more to him than sex. He's got women throwing themselves at him, and I'm assuming he's got multiple wives or whatever, so he probably doesn't care. He did make a comment on the interview with Pearl where he said, like, he doesn't care, don't talk to him about that. Like, when women throw themselves at him and talk about sex, like, he doesn't care.
Yeah. And if we were able to do a very well controlled scientific study on this, the results would be, in general, most masculine leaning people care about power and status and wealth and influence very much higher than sex. And sex only becomes ahead of that when they're like a young teenager who's never had it before, or they're new to it, or they haven't had it for a long time, or whatever. And then as soon as that need is sated, just like food or drink, as soon as it's taken care of, they're back on their grind, they're back on their hustle, they're back on their mission, they're back on doing the thing they want to do. Even if that's just getting good at video games, like, they're really focused on it and you won't pull their focus away from it. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.